Howdy, welcome back to Shopify Sunday Drives. I'm Elster, and today we're going to talk about some ways that you can make more money in less time in 2018. All right, so the actual practical thing we're going to talk about there is mindfulness, intent, and ways to use that, and some examples of how it's impacted my business. Because when I look back on this year, it has been by far our most tremendously successful year, and also my most successful year in terms of like personal achievements, goals, interpersonal relationships, everything. It has just been phenomenally great, and I want to share some of that with you. And the way I have done it is by being very intentional, mindful, and cognizant of my decision-making processes. So we're going to talk through that with some practical examples. It won't sound like silly psychobabble or new age stuff. It'll make sense. So let me get in the car. We'll walk through it. All right, let's talk about some ways that we can better our businesses and better our lives. And the only thing we have to do is change some of our decision-making behavior. So when I talk about mindfulness, it's really it's referring to sort of an introspective thought where you question why you're doing something and what its long-term effect is. So most people's decision-making is very, it's knee-jerk, it's reactionary. You're really just kind of jumping from fire to fire, and then in between those events, you spend your time just trying to get back to whatever the status quo is. And unfortunately, the status quo isn't necessarily what you have in mind for yourself. It's whatever your life currently is. So if you want to do really big things that happen over the long term, you have to be aware of it. You have to think about it and work towards it. So simply put, you need to think about, what are your goals? Well, if you're listening to me, the chances are you want to be an independent business owner, or you want to scale your business, and certainly you want to be a Shopify merchant with a successful store and make more money, work fewer hours, have a better effective hourly rate on your income, all kinds of good stuff. But when you look back, even if you look back at your life and think about, what did I do in the last month to work towards bettering any of those goals, or the last year, you quickly discover that if you looked hard and you broke down all your time and then broke down all your decisions, you didn't move when you said, all right, I've got a year to hit my goals. I want to move forward, a mile in my business. And then when you look back on it, over the last month, you go, oh geez, I didn't move forward. I didn't move forward a mile. I went an inch in every direction is how it feels. Okay, so that's the problem that everyone is up against. Fortunately, it's pretty easy to resolve by just being aware, first recognizing that is what's going on, that your mind is always going to try to take you back toward whatever the status quo is, right? That's, it may give you anxiety to avoid the status quo. So, how do we stop it? Well, you simply ask yourself, every time you're making a decision, you ask yourself, does this get me closer to or further from my goals, or neutral? And if the answer is not, it gets me closer to my goals, then you should say, no, why am I doing this? Say no to the whatever it is, whether it's an expense or your time or an opportunity or a project or a call, a meeting, whatever it is, say no to it. And suddenly, oh my gosh, you have immediately you gain free time. Like I love when people cancel meetings on me because they have given me the gift of free time, right? I don't actually love that, but that's what I tell myself. So, where was I going with that? All right, you have to ask yourself, does this get me closer to my goals? And of course, you have to have defined what your goals are. That can be very helpful. And that's it. Like that's my whole pitch, is just start asking yourself in every decision, does this get me closer to my goals? And if you're doing things, and if there are things where you're like, yeah, well, I can't ask myself that I have to do it. Ask yourself, why? Why do you have to do it? Of the things you're committed to doing now, why are you doing them? Can you Can you just stop doing them? What happens if you don't answer that email? Probably nothing. Probably absolutely nothing happens. Like, there's a ton of stuff that you think is important that is just a big waste of time, that nothing bad will happen if you just don't do anything or ignore it. And I mean, not everything, but a lot of things. So, all right, I'll give you some examples of how I have grown my own business. So, I had 2017, so it was the year of the side hustle, right? I had a friend who, unbeknownst to me, had a sex toy dropshipping store. And I said, and it was like an affiliate marketing thing. I said, I had no idea, I'm surprised. And he replied, this was in the summer, and he goes, well, everybody's got a side hustle now, right? Okay, that's one of the problems. So if you know what you want to do, you've got your business, right? And then you've got this 20% side hustle project. Is that side hustle project a distraction, or is it growing your business? Well, oftentimes, once you know what you want to do and you know what your goals are, those side hustles are distractions. So in my case, I started shutting down my side hustles. When I was getting opportunities for like fun business ideas, I turned them down. I have a whole bunch of micro websites we did that run AdSense. They're like passive income AdSense websites. I have started selling them on Flippa, just getting rid of them because they don't contribute to my goal. My goal is to be this amazing Shopify agent, to run this amazing Shopify agency and to be an e-commerce authority. Those are my two goals, right? And primary goals, and then secondarily, that'll help me provide for my family, spend more time with my family. All right, so if I'm not contributing to those things, then I shouldn't be doing them. So I have these successful AdSense websites, but selling them. They're all going on Flippa. Some I've already sold a few. I got some up right now. More I'm getting rid of. I get requests for meetings all the time and stuff that'll pay me money. But if it doesn't have, here's another trick, is even if you're like, yeah, okay, it'll earn money, you have to ask yourself, well, what is the expected value, the EV? What's the long-term value here? Yeah, it might be worth $500 right now, but is it going to, like, if I take on this project, am I going to get referrals from it for e-commerce for future work? No. All right, why am I doing it? Am I going to be included as an example of my e-commerce work? No. Okay, then I shouldn't be doing it. So to that end, yeah, I got rid of those side projects. I've been turning down opportunities left and right, which feels great to have that free time. And I've started, and this year we all but I believe three of our non-e-commerce clients I fired. I just got rid of them because it didn't contribute to that goal. But they were perfectly good clients and it made money, but it wasn't contributing to that larger goal. And phenomenal decision. It felt great to do. So having that, you just have to have that presence of mind, that clear vision, and be ruthless about it. Be setting firm boundaries and just ruthlessly enforcing your vision. Because if you don't, everyone else around you has their own agenda, whether they're thinking about it or not, right? And they're going to try to force that on you. And pretty soon, if you're not saying no, not setting those firm boundaries, and you don't know what it is you want to be able to do and get out of life in 12 weeks, a year, 5 years, 20 years, other people will set your agenda for you. Because no matter what, we are all trying to force everyone into our status quo. So if you have people, if you start doing this and you have people pushing back, it is only because they see you breaking their own status quo. You don't need that. Ignore them. So this, I know this is not actionable e-commerce advice, but it will be tremendously valuable in growing your e-commerce business. So from a high-level strategy point of view, I encourage you to learn from my experience. Start setting your own rules to achieve your own vision. It will be tremendously valuable, and make it a New Year's resolution. That's sort of why I'm doing it now in December. I know I skipped the last 2 weeks. We've all been busy with Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I hope that went extraordinarily well for all of you. And if you want to learn more about mindfulness and some of these ideas, there's some good books on the topic that I've enjoyed reading. Some good intro level books for this, like level 100 stuff. Let's see what we got here. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. I think that's a great book. The Big Leap. That one is excellent. Life Storming, another good one. And there's another one. There was a fourth one I recommended that had another dirty word in the title, a cuss word, and for the life of me, I can't remember what it is. Well, if I remember, I'll put it in the description. Okay, so I should explain the suit. I am going to a friend's wedding right now. Anyway, I hope this has been valuable, instructional, went a little longer than usual because I got excited. And if you want to work with me on your next project, well, gee, I think we're booked through the next 60 days or so. But if you want to work with me on your next project, you could apply at ethercycle.com/apply. If you want to grab my newsletter, reply to it, send me an email. Just go to kurtelster.com, my name, KURTELSTER. And thank you for your time. I hope it was valuable.